Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Braider Biz. Today we are going to introduce you to Braider Biz, and we are going to give you just a couple of quick tips to get you started if you have decided to become a hair braider, braidtician, loctician, and you are new to the industry. Now, if you are experienced in the industry and you are already established and you do not need this beginner's course, you are welcome to just stay around anyway, because in the description box I'll have different links to how you can start your website, how you can register with your state if you want to become a sole proprietor, a LLC, a S Corp, a C Corp, or incorporate. So stay tuned, even if you are already an experienced braidtician, loctician, braider. So for new beginners, thank you and welcome to Braider Biz. In this beginner series, we just want to kind of familiarize yourself with the ways that you can expand your business once you decide that, hey, I want to be a hair braider. Now for me, I started out years ago in the early 2000s braiding hair. I initially learned how to braid from one of my aunts. Well, a couple of my aunts knew how to braid and they passed that skill down to me. However, I quickly realized that I wanted to start a business with that. So what I wanted to do is take what I knew, go out into the world, and start my business. But it was a couple of steps that I needed to take. In the state of Florida, you actually had to be a licensed hair braider back then. Now, I don't know if it's a requirement, but that's something you can check with your local state. I'll have the links in the description box for the state of Florida, how you can become licensed, whether or not you need a license in the current year 2021. A lot's changed since the pandemic last year and into this year. So things that were initially required before are no longer required. So you do need to do research for your state. Once again, just talking a little bit about myself. I did have to become a licensed hair braider. At the time, there were no specific braiding schools, so I had to attend a cosmetology school that offered that program. Now, if they offer the program, they'll let you know, they'll let you register, you'll pay your fees, and you will sit through the course with other cosmetologists. So even though you are not going to school for cosmetology, you're just wanting to braid, you still need to be in a cosmetology school so that you can learn sanitation, you can learn how to properly use your equipment, you can learn about disinfection, you can learn about hair diseases. Because one thing that you don't realize in this industry is that some people come to get their hair done and they know that they have things going on in their scalp, in their hair, and they don't necessarily relay that information to you. So this is why you would need to actually take a course at a cosmetology school so that you can recognize these diseases. Now, certainly you can Google, because now you can Google everything, but you want to go to a professional cosmetology school if you are desiring to take your business to the next level. Now, I started out as a hair braider. I opened a business. I was referred to as Traveling Queen back in the day. So I went and took the necessary steps. I took my test with the state board. I got my licensed hair braider with the state of Florida license. When you take your state board license, you will get a wallet card, and then you will get a 8x11, 8x10 sheet of paper. That is to display on your wall if you're working in a salon or if you own a salon. And the wallet card is to take with you. So if you are maybe doing a hair for someone that's disabled and can't get to a salon, or someone that's pregnant and can't get to a salon, you are actually carrying that license. Your license also protects you, because sometimes people want to challenge your authority or your skill based on whether or not you are licensed. So it's always good to, even if you start out, you're making a bunch of money, you don't care about being licensed or not, it's always good to get a license or certification, because there's always that one client that's going to challenge you. So moving forward, jumping a couple of years, I was working in a particular, just a story about me, I was working in a particular salon. I was a licensed hair braider. She saw my license. Everything was going along fine. She said it wasn't a problem because she was a cosmetologist, didn't know how to braid. I was a braider that was not a licensed cosmetologist. Everything was fine. However, the thing with working with other stylists, that competition sets in. Sometimes the client is going on vacation. They don't want a press and curl. Oh, the wind blew my camera. They don't want a press and curl. They don't want a relaxer. They're going on vacation. They want to go in the water, go to the beach, that sort of thing. They want their hair braided. That's where the problem came in. Some of her clients decided that they wanted their hair braided. So one thing led to another. That's also a story that's in the ebook, Braider Biz. One thing led to another, and I quickly realized that, hey, I need my cosmetology license. So that is one of the reasons why I created this ebook, Braider Biz, is to let you know that yes, you can start out as a braider, and yes, you may not care about doing regular hair, as they say, as you're going through the motions, but at some point in time in your growth process, you're going to get a client that needs a relaxer. You're going to get a client that needs a press and curl. You're going to get a client that comes in and they have, they went to one stylist, their scalp got burnt. They come to you, they want their hair braided, but their scalp has bumps and pus and bleeding and that sort of thing. You need to be able to recognize what's going on with the client, in addition to being able to either refer her to a doctor or work with her through several consultations to figure out exactly what you need to do to help that client. So in your growth process, you're going to go through these sort of things. But to make a long story short, in my case, I decided to go to cosmetology school. I went to cosmetology school, the full program. At the time, I think they accepted my braidtician credits because it was from one Florida school to another Florida school. But however, you may be military, you may be moving from state to state, and sometimes credits are not transferable from state to state. So you need to check with your state board, your state website for cosmetology board, to see what the qualifications are. So I went to get I went to cosmetology school. Great investment. I would recommend it to anybody that's doing hair, even if you're starting out doing hair and you don't think it's something you want to take seriously. Go get your cosmetology license. If you like to cut hair more, you're more of a barber, get your barber's license. It's nothing more important than your license in this industry. So you can do hair off and on, but at some point, someone's gonna challenge you. So just like with anything, if you go to a job and you put on your resume that you know how to do certain things, you get the job, they start paying you a good 6 months into the situation, they're gonna challenge you. They're gonna be like, you said you could do such and such. So that's where communication is important. Jumping back to cosmetology and braiders, locticians, communication is important. You need to know if the client's edges are too thin to wear a certain type of braids. You need to know how long the client has been wearing braids. You have to know how often the client gets braids. You have to know if the client had a relaxer in their hair before they came to you to get braided. So it's certain things that you need to do, and I do offer a consultation book. Is called The Debriefing of Traveling Queen of Hair. I'll have the links in the description box. That gives you a step-by-step consultation form, whether you're doing braiding, hair color, hair extensions, relaxers, perms. It will give you the gamut of what you can do step by step. So stay tuned for more tips and have a great day.